Okay, we are live.
I just wanna be free.
Live, live, live.
I just wanna be free with my people to prosper and hold it down. Don't you sit and wait, contemplating on a revolution. The time is now. I just wanna be free. I just wanna be free. I just wanna be free. I just wanna be free.
Okay. Another episode of the Things I Wish I Knew About Money podcast. I'm your host, Camille Smith, and this afternoon we have a lovely special guest. Dr. Vibes, my gosh, come through, sir. Come through, please.
Greetings.
Yes. And welcome to episode 99. My gosh.
See, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough for 100 people, so I'm one below. So I don't rate. I'm just a guy. So you know what? I just show up.
Uh-huh. Don't do that.
What do you mean don't do that? It's true. Isn't it show 99?
That is true, but 99 is just as special as 100.
Okay.
I feel like a celebrity like yourself.
Oh, here we go. Okay, audience. She is not behaving already. We're like less than 3 minutes, and she's being out of order.
Me? Never.
I'm not. I am just a guy. That's all I am.
Very, very modest. But I remember, so there's 2 times we've met. However, the second time we met was with Christopher Lawrence at his lovely workshop, where we were able to have the community, together and embracing all the different types of
services and products.
Yes, services and products. And then you know what happened, everyone? So this gentleman came in, and I was like, something about him. I just see celebrity. And from the jump that I met him, you made sure you understood the purpose of my business, and also helped me kind of tweak how I talk to individuals, because I was a little nervous, and I could just tell that I was like, no, I have to step up my game when I speak to certain people and all that good stuff. So I appreciate you, sir.
Wow. She's never said that. She's never said that offline. She's going public on this. Wow. Is this going to be on TMZ Canada or eTalk or something like that?
I hope there's no TMZ Canada, because there's too much going on.
Like I say to people a lot these days, the more I know, the less I understand.
However, I would like the folks to know who Dr. Vibes is. Dr. Vibes, sorry. I almost put vibes like Vibes Cartel, but that's another.
No cartels, please. I want to stay on the north side of the border. 49th, please, and thank you.
That is true.
So who am I? My name is Dr. Vibe. I help elevate. There's a number of things I do, but one of them is I help elevate men and fathers to be the best that they can be through my online conversations, and also mentoring, teaching, and sharing, and helping. I don't like to say the word coach. That's a very overused word, so I say helping. Okay. I don't even. Okay, let me take out the help. I don't like using the word help either. So let's run back. I'm Dr. Vibe. I help elevate. One of the things I help elevate men and fathers be the best that they can be for themselves and their families and the people that they impact. And I do, one of the ways I do that is through online shows, through workshops, through seminars, and I'll leave it at that. Nice. And that's another thing. I don't use the word help anymore.
Why?
I think help is a defensive word instead of like I said, I
Mhm.
escalate. That's an action word.
I escalate. Okay.
I
Okay. I
escalate
like that.
men and fathers. So helping, I think, is from a defensive stance. I want
Mm-hmm.
to help you. I want to help you. No, I help. I know. Sorry. I escalate men and fathers is one of the things I'm blessed to do. Actually, yeah, men and fathers. Nothing. I also do the same thing with entrepreneurs, predominantly Black Canadian entrepreneurs.
Mm. I do notice that because I have been following your platform as well. Ever since
Stalking or following?
following, stop
Okay, just
this.
want to make sure.
Following,
Excuse me.
especially when Wayne Harris or Ryan Knight is on it, or just because you're a very consistent individual, I must say.
Well,
Um,
that's very important, not only when you're doing online stuff, but consistent in good things is a very
mhm,
important thing. And
correct.
basically, I've done almost 10,000 posts on my website. And I'd say there's only been less than 50 days where I didn't post something.
Okay.
So consistency is very important. That's a whole other conversation, consisting in content that is relevant to your audience. So I'll leave it at that.
Okay. So, when you say I'm gonna ask a question
You
because
are?
I know I know consistency is key. And you said to your audience, or is it your audience per se, like what they would like to hear, or what you've heard? And I'm only gonna say it once because I know you don't like this word. What the community is crying for, I guess.
Well, I think in a lot of ways they're the same things. You can,
Mhm.
and this I want to encourage entrepreneurs. Have you asked or done a survey with your customers? Have you done a focus group with your customers? Because if you don't know what your customers or your audience wants, how do you know what to serve them with?
True.
And also, if you're doing online stuff, there's always analytics. What are the audience out there responding to?
Hmm.
And if you see them responding a lot to certain posts, then you need to go deeper in regards to that, because that's things they want to hear.
Yes.
And for many entrepreneurs, that they don't spend the time engaging with their community, their audience. They'll say their audience on a regular basis, and other people say the C
Gotcha.
word. So if I miss, I would say the C word, but I think audience. So we'll use that
Audience,
terminology for this conversation with your blessing.
of course.
All right.
You know what? It's funny that you say that, having a focus group or a survey, because recently
Mm-hmm.
I realized that I needed to do that just to get a better understanding of like the niche or the clientels
Yep.
that I am ideally wanting, and all that good stuff. And I'm glad you mentioned focus group, because I think there's a thing where we think we know what people want.
A lot of us don't even know what we want.
We think we know, we're like, yeah, of course. Little do you know that sometimes it's not what people actually want.
Well, you can run into situations on the entrepreneur journey where what you think you're good at and what
Hmm.
your clients think you're good at are two different things.
Dig it deep in that one, please. I would like to hear that a little bit more.
Well,
How so?
we'll take Camille Esquire as an example. You offer a number of different services,
Hmm.
and you may think, and you probably are good at a number of them, but it's good if you think you're good at them. But what does your audience want? And they can sometimes be two different things.
True. And
So if
that's why,
you don't know unless you ask.
which I've been trying to work on that
It's
as of
okay.
late.
No, hey, it's a work in progress. And especially a lot of solopreneurs, it's very challenging to
Hmm.
be able to, for those who are watching the Toronto area, you'll get what I'm saying. You can't be City Pulse, you can't be everywhere or everything.
True, because you'll eventually burn out. And I think I experienced that last year
Mhm.
of burning out because you're trying to please everyone. And
Were
I've
you
come to
pleasing,
learn
but were you pleasing yourself? Right?
I always put myself last.
Hey, was there a long time ago. And the thing
Hmm.
is, again, if you've ever been on a plane, as the plane is taking off, the flight attendants does that. If the mask drops down,
Hmm.
who do you put the mask on first?
Mm.
And the
Of
thing,
course, it should be
yeah, and
yourself.
another way of putting that is if you can't serve yourself and be good to yourself, it reduces the opportunity of being good for others.
That's true.
And people will know when you're not treating yourself right. Those who
Hmm.
are part of your community watch, they know when things are on and when
Yes.
things aren't on. They'll know. But don't be afraid to ask.
Asking for help or asking for
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
which is
Right?
another thing that you taught me as well. I was like,
I
my
just shared, I just
gosh.
suggestions, right? So obviously family, the way the conversation is going is not what we've structured it as, so but it's good anyways. I'm
Yeah,
speaking that we're adding positive value. So in
absolutely.
regards to asking for help,
Hmm.
I use a thought process, ask in threes.
Asking threes. Okay.
Now, little background on that. How many times I was like this in the past where you
Hmm.
would ask for something, some sort of deal or something like that. You asked and they said no, and you had nothing else to offer. You know, your pocket's empty, right?
Yes.
Right. Well,
Ah,
I don't want anyone who's watching this. So I want you to get out of the broke, busted, and disgusted mentality.
broke.
Always ask in threes. Have your dream ask,
Hmm.
have your middle ask, and have your low end ask. And if you want, I can give you an example if you wish, and your
Please.
audience. So
Absolutely.
when I was having my initial conversation with an organization called Edelman, who is a
Hmm.
PR agency for Dove Men Plus Care. There's a story behind that, but I know time restricts, so we'll get down to as the song's straight down to business on on this. I use a lot of music things I like to bring up, so I hope some people get it. That
They
I
better.
Yeah, but before I met the ladies from Edelman, I researched them, found out and did researching on them on LinkedIn to find out how long they've been at the position, this, that, and the other thing. And when we came, and this was a phone meeting that was done for about 45 minutes. So here's my mindset. So before I go in, I say, what's my big ask? My big ask was, I want to work with Dove Men Plus Care. That's the big
Hmm.
ask. The
Okay.
middle ask is, if that isn't happening, is there an opportunity at another date to potentially work with Dove Men Plus Care?
Okay.
And then my low end ask was, if it's not right, then can I get their contact information and follow up with them
Mm.
at a time that we both agree with? Because if it's business that you really want,
Yeah.
it may not be the right time now, but it may be the right time another time. And also, when you get that contact information, they're giving you permission to follow up with them.
Mm. That is true. That is
Okay.
true. That is key.
Yes.
That is
So
very
when I
key.
spoke with the ladies from Edelman,
Hmm.
after they grilled me for about 35 minutes, this is all via
Yeah.
phone.
Hmm.
And I said, look, the opportunity you presented me, I don't have the capacity and resources to handle it because it's a national campaign. I'm just a one person right now. Now, interesting enough, if that happened again today, I would have taken it on and hired people to
Hmm.
do it. But at that
Okay.
time, and I still am a member of an organization called Dad Central, which is Canada's national fatherhood organization for the last 25 plus years. I said, look, I can't do this on my own, but I am a member of a national fatherhood community. Would you like to speak with them? Yes.
Awesome. That's. Mm.
So I
Hmm.
got it. Yes.
Yes.
I got it.
Okay.
So then after we did that, I said, hey, I can make this happen. I can arrange it. And they said, oh, do you have any questions for us? I said, yeah, I got a question for you.
Mm.
Why are you like that? I don't ask. Do I ask good questions?
You do. That's why I'm like,
Thank you. Okay.
I'm interested.
Okay. So this is a Dr. Vibe that I'm giving away complimentary.
My gosh, how did I get
Here's,
so lucky?
I don't believe it. I'm blessed. I don't know about luck. So I asked the
Bless.
three ladies, I said, look, each one of you work with Dove Men Plus Care. Yes,
Mhm.
we do. Then I asked them, what keeps you up at night working with Dove Men Plus Care?
Mm.
The phone went silent for a minute
Wow.
because they had never been asked that question before. And they asked, that's a really good question. I said, well, I want to help you win. Because when you're having those meetings with potential clients, it's not about you, it's about them.
True.
Right? It's about them, it's serving them. So you want to find out their pain points so you can be able to say, hey, I can help you with that. So if you can be a solution to a problem, that gets you closer on making that deal.
I like.
I'm glad I've got approval from. See, I'm trying to load up with as much content. She says, no, we got to make him on for the 100. Go on. All right. So I'm speaking that is useful. And I've been able to share some thought process with some of the wonderful audience that you have.
Yes.
Which is so
So
where do you want to go to next?
the three ask.
Yeah.
Also,
Don't use the word when your people ask, what do you do? Don't use the word help.
You
right?
serve.
Right. So here's some suggestions that you can use. Again, I'm giving these away. I advise.
Advise.
I give. I boost. I facilitate. I encourage. I develop. Don't those intros sound better than I help? Everyone uses I help.
That's true.
So sometimes you have to observe the masses and do the opposite. And I have a feeling if anyone does that, I'd be interested to see what the person or people's reaction when they hear that instead of the I help. Or like, you can go another, or another thing is, when you're out at events, most of the time people ask you, what's the first question people ask you?
Oh, so what do you do for a living?
Okay, I don't like that. You know what I tell people? I ask people, why do you do what you do?
And I think that was I'm trying to remember the first question you asked. I think that was the one, and yeah. I got stumped. I was like, because I was gonna say because I actually love helping people
you
become financially.
You're more than happy to use it, but some way just rephrasing things in a different way
helps.
Out in a good way, because you hear the same thing all the time, same thing. So put it in a different way, shows that people say, oh, that was different. That caught me off guard. Wow. There you go.
True. Guys, Dr. Vibe, sorry. I'm not Vibes Cartel. Dr. Vibe gives excellent advice and suggestions.
I like to give suggestions because I'll put out everything I'm sharing is a suggestion. It's up to you if you want to do it. I just suggest things that have worked for me or that have worked for my mentor or mentors.
And I guess I haven't asked, how long have you been an entrepreneur? Am I able to? Am I allowed to ask that one?
You just did. So let's put it this way. Interesting story. I was like side hustling for a while, and then once the pandemic hit, I said, I loved the pandemic. It was a great opportunity for me. My thought process during the pandemic was, don't waste the crisis.
Don't waste the crisis.
So during the pandemic, some people have fell behind. Some people stayed the same. Other people have accelerated. So I was very blessed because I've been doing online stuff since 2009. And I developed relationships. When people wanted to have stuff done online, they go, hey, Dr. Vibe, what do people say about you when you're not around? So that's why it's very important how you treat people, because you never know
when you're going to bump into them again.
Whether they're going to bump into someone that say, hey, Camille, she rules the world. You need to be with her.
That is true because um the thing that I love about business is word of mouth. And there are times when I've had introduction meetings and I'm like, wait, how did you find out about me? Oh, so and so
Yeah, she's
mentioned you.
worldwide. You know,
I was
she's
like,
worldwide.
I mean, I am a little bit. That is only because where I lived for 2 years is why I'm kind of a big deal internationally.
See, that's why I get my lessons from Camille.
There are no lessons for me. I'm learning from you, or I'm learning every day. I actually learn something new from either a mentor, a new person I've met, or even clients, because they're not everyone's the same, obviously,
Exactly.
and there are going to be different values that you want to project to others, and there's also things that they stick on to you, and you're like, oh wow, I never thought of it that way.
Huge.
So I like, I guess, like at the end of the day, when it comes to like values or purpose, I do want to leave a good taste when it comes to people listening to me, right?
Yeah.
Or meeting me, because that's important in my
Yeah.
eyes.
Well, again, that's the foundation for me is relationships.
Mhm.
Because business is all about relationships. If you have no relationships, you have no business.
So, okay,
If you have no business, you have no money to make.
that's true. That's true. So then I guess, what is the advice you would have for entrepreneur that is an introvert? Because them.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, work at it being a little bit better each day. Because
Mhm.
if you're and start small. Like it's the little things that make the vine, not the big things. As one of the things I share is yard by yard too hard, inch by inch it's a cinch.
We need to write that one
So
down.
many years ago, I didn't want to do things like this.
Yeah,
But the thing is, sometimes you got to think in the box, not just think outside the box. You got to be thinking in the box.
thinking in the box.
So what I did, you got to think in the box to get out of the box.
Mm.
And I didn't want to do these sort of things, but I said, okay, you know what? I was intentional, and I did my first one of these many years ago on January 1st, first day of the new year,
Mm.
with the person who had the most downloaded show
Mm-hmm.
in my show's journey at that time. Strategic, because he had an audience of that time, online audience on different platforms combined of 10,000 people.
I believe I saw an episode the other day with that gentleman.
No, he hasn't been on for a while.
No. I was looking at some of your
Oh,
yes, see,
research. Good. Well, that's good. No,
research.
confirmation. Research is something that a lot of us don't like to do, but it separates you.
Hmm. And where do you normally research?
I for people to come on the platform, I just have a meeting with them. I say, hey, once I reach out to them, I have a standard thing that I do to reach out to people. Here's another thing, family. A lot of it's done by video introduction.
You did mention that one too.
So I use video introductions to people. And the
Mhm.
nice thing is it's different. People feel valued because you took the time to send them a video. And third, depending on what software you use,
Mhm.
the software will tell you when they've opened it up and watched it.
Eh.
So you can send emails, and if you're using newsletters, it'll tell you who's opened it up.
Yes.
But
Yes.
if you send someone an email,
Hmm.
the only way you know if someone's read it or not opened up is read receipt. And people don't like read receipts. A lot of people don't like read receipts because you think you're in their business. So for
I
me, I
hear
said,
that.
no, let me do it via video. and it
Okay.
takes 45 seconds, bang. And 95% of the people, first of all, they have an over 90% open rate.
90%. Okay.
And then I'd say a 90% first thing that people say is, wow, I love this. So even
Yes.
before they're listening to what I'm sharing, they love the way they've been treated.
Because the personal touch, like actually saying, "Hey, Dr. Vibe, it was lovely you coming on here. Please, we need to do this again." You'd be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
me?" So that is
And
another one.
here's another thing,
Mhm.
people suggestion, don't go, the first meeting should only be 11 minutes long.
11 minutes long. Ah! And sorry, question. Is this with people coming online or introduction to see if you're going to provide a service or product to them?
Both, because again, if you don't know the person, you don't know what they need. So you want to, I make that 11 minutes. I have a standard group of questions, and I make sure during that 11 minutes, people will say, well, that's not a long time. It is if you only do 20% of the talking. So if you're looking at 11 minutes, if you're only doing 20% of the talking, maximum you're only going to be talking is 2 minutes and 30 seconds, approximately. The rest of the time, 9 minutes, well, 8 minutes and 30 seconds is the other person. And at the beginning, you say, hey, do you mind if I just take notes? And then at the end, you say, you know what? I really appreciate your conversation. And when the 11 minutes come up, I say, hey, I said I only want 11 minutes of your time. I've been timing it on my phone. I actually say that at the beginning because I want to respect people's time.
Correct.
Say, hey, we've hit 11 minutes. I don't want to take up any more of your time. 75% of the people say, hey, no problem. I booked half an hour anyways. And if they say that, that means they want to hear more from you and you're on the right path.
Okay. But you are actually finish it at the 11 minutes?
I tell them that, hey, the 11 minutes has come up as I promised. I'd stop at 11 minutes. If you're comfortable continuing, great. If not, I'm more than happy to stop it here. But whenever the conversation ends, I would say, hey, I'd like to thank you for your time. Now, can I ask a favor? Do you mind if I take the information from you that you've shared today and come back to you with a custom presentation? That was taught to me by Camille. You can tell by her style.
Don't do that. Don't do that. No, because that is something that I need to work on because time is valuable.
Hey, time never lost a fight.
Time is precious.
Time never lost a fight. So, when you do that, first of all, right at the beginning, say, hey, I'm only going to take 11 minutes of your time. First of all, you're promising what you keep. So when you reach out to them and say, hey, I just want to get 11 minutes of your time, you're sticking to the length of your time. That means you're respecting them and you're a person of your word. Who doesn't like someone that keeps their word?
That
right?
is true.
So they're buying you before they are buying whatever you're wanting to find out from them.
Look at it. I hope people are taking notes.
Well, it's
these
actually
are
funny.
gems.
Like I said, none of the questions that you sent me are being answered. So
I know. I'm just.
we're just like you said, we're vibing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're just vibing and all them things.
Yeah. So that's So that's those are some of the things I do on a regular basis. And another key thing, it's all in the follow up and follow through.
Follow up and follow through.
I want everybody to under promise and over deliver. What do I mean by that? If I meet someone, goes to another thing. All right. So if I meet someone at an event, I have my business cards.
Correct.
I only give my business cards to people who ask for my business card.
You never like, oh,
I think if they ask for my business card, that means they're interested.
Yes.
If I just give it to you, I don't know if you're interested or not.
You're just if like, thanks.
Yeah. And let's be honest. Many of the people you give business cards never follow up with you. right? Let's be
Special
real,
meeting.
family. Let's be real. So that's why I'm saying only give business cards to people who ask you for your business card, and you should be asking for their business card.
Correct. And following up.
And then you say to them, hey, I'm going to follow up with you within 48 hours. What you're really going to do is follow up within 24 hours.
Ding, 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 ding.
Right. Under promise, over deliver. There are many, and I'm not perfect, family, but there's many times if I go to an evening event, when I get home, I will
Yes.
spend time on my phone and in my computer putting their information in. And by the next morning that I wake up, they're also, I've reached out to them via phone and via email.
True. And that is true. Because I think
Building your audience, the C word. I've gone back to that. Now I'll use it in that terminology. There's other terminologies I don't use it, but that's really, really important. Because again, it makes you stand out in a good way.
Because you actually care, like, oh wow, they're actually following up and seeing.
They're a person of their word.
Look at that. I like I said, I hope y'all are taking notes.
Well, I'm a graduate. I'm a graduate of the Camille Institute of Mindset. So thank you, teacher.
You're giving me too much credit.
I'm getting what?
But you're giving me too much credit, but I will take it for now. You know, I love words of affirmation, so I'll take it today. However, dang, we didn't. There is no
This
reason
is so
for me
interesting because the conversation, like I said, family,
I know.
totally none of the stuff that she asked is part of, but I'm speaking that I'm still giving positive value.
Absolutely. The value that you provide is authentic.
Yeah.
And huge.
And I
And
care.
that's exactly.
I want to see you win.
Me or everyone else?
Of course you. I don't care about anybody else.
Ouch.
I'm just joking. I am fully joking there, family. Joking. But one of the things my mentor taught me and has gotten in my mindset now is when you get up in the morning, who are you fighting for? So
fighting for
a lot of people say I'm fighting for
family.
yourself. A lot of people say I'm fighting for yourself. That's great. But if you're only fighting for yourself, you're being selfish. You want to be selfless. So yes, I fight for my family. I fight for dads and fathers. I fight for Black entrepreneurs. So it's bigger than me.
Correct.
So I'll never get bored because there is always people to serve. The word success has 3 S's in it: sacrifice, service, selflessness.
I haven't made that sound in a while, but I had to do it because it's amazing. Let me see if I can. But what are you fighting for?
Who?
Sorry.
Not what. Who are you?
Are you fighting for? I need to write that down and just have it as soon as I wake up.
Do it. No, I'm being serious.
Not.
Who are you for? Because it's got to be bigger than you. And then you have those tough days, say, but say, you know what? I'm fighting for this person and that person. It takes a little bit of load off of you and say, it's bigger than me. Correct.
Then I think that's why it's safe to say that I always put others before.
That is important, but you got to take care of yourself. Like, I want to actually encourage people. You take a break during the day.
Define break.
Do you take 15 minutes during the day and do nothing? Whether it's sit silently, meditate, pray, have your own place. Do you have a place wherever you're living where you can just have that place of quietness and solitude if you can?
My car.
Yes, that is true. You're a car jockey. Absolutely.
No one understands the value of just sitting in your car before you get inside wherever you're going and just
interesting you say that. I was mentoring and coaching a father who's based in Los Angeles. By the way, I'm based in Toronto, or to be exact,
See,
Scarborough.
you just
Scarborough.
said, but you're internationally known.
No,
You just
no, I'm
said,
known through Camille Esquire, right? So I was coaching a father in San Francisco, I believe, and he said, when I leave work, I come into the driveway and I go right in. It's like, oh, it's just like it just the wall of craziness starts. So I said to him, you know what? Here's a suggestion. Why don't, when you get home, you just take 15 minutes, park in the driveway, and just a peace.
it. No one knows how much peace you
Right? So you
receive.
have, so, and I'd say, try your best to eliminate everything from the day and
Mhm.
just, okay, just get some energy
Yes.
to manage what you will or potentially go into. Because all the time you would just drive in, go right in. No.
Yeah.
And
And
even
your
with
mind's
meeting,
just like, ah.
yeah, even with conversations, I don't do
Mhm.
back to backs. I give myself at least 15-minute breaks. I need that for me. And I
Yes.
need that for me through me so I can be better for the people that I serve.
Mm. See, these are the vices. Yeah.
Yeah, this
That or
is what you get.
suggestions.
Suggestions that you get from the Camille Institute.
Institute or the KS. That's like a.
Yes.
I'm not gonna say. If you know my middle name, you know my middle name. I'm not gonna announce it here.
I'm gonna find out now.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna find out. I'm not gonna chat
And
with you after this until you tell me your middle name offline.
we'll see. We'll see. But one of the things that I'd like to ask is only gonna be one of them. Do you
That's why there's a part two coming. Go ahead.
right? Do you recommend people making streams of businesses or streams of income? Because I think that saying has been been thrown in the social media
Yeah.
world or
Okay.
platforms.
I'm gonna put a twist on it. I believe
Mhm.
in people making different streams of revenue.
Mm. What's the difference? Because streams of income, streams of revenue.
Okay. You
Is it
can
not
do
the
it.
same?
You can do a transaction.
Uh-huh.
And I know people that do this, you don't make any money. Now, there are times where you can do it because if there's a bigger purpose or it's getting exposure to an audience, that's great. But I like to do revenue generating things so that when I get that money, I can put some in the bank account
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
I can invest it back into the business.
That is very I need you to repeat that because I think a lot of entrepreneurs are normally breaking even.
Yeah, hey, nothing wrong with that. But the thing
True.
is, you got to eat.
You gotta eat.
So it's really important. And hey, I was in that a number of years ago. And
Mm-hmm.
one of the individuals who was helping me at the time from England says,
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Bob, you gotta eat. I said, bam,
You gotta eat.
turn my thought process totally different way. Because when you quote someone for a price or service, are you including your time? Are you including, okay, and things may happen along the way. They are unexpected. That's going to eat into your profit margin. So by the time you're finished, oh yeah, it's a great sale. How much revenue did you generate? Oh, I lost. I say we got to take out your pricing.
Mm-hmm. And how do you? Because I'm sure since the pandemic you've adjusted your pricing because you have brought more value
Mm-hmm.
to yourself. How do you adjust that price?
I put it out there and see and ask people if people are buying, great. If they aren't buying, I'm going to say again, that's staying in touch with your audience.
Mm.
Because if you're in good communication with your audience, they're going to know, like, and trust you. Then you want to do you know what they want and can they afford it?
Affordability.
And that's a huge thing, especially in the days we're living in right now. And sometimes you're going to have to shrink your audience, but you're going to make more profit.
Because we don't want to reach a burnout.
Yeah.
I
And
think,
another important thing I was going to throw in there, if I give your permission,
of course.
KS, as an entrepreneur,
Mhm.
ABC, and I'm not talking Jackson's Fry, by the way.
I was about to sing it. I had to
Yes.
control myself.
Yes, and
I had to control myself.
and back in the day, there was a group called Another Bad Creation, ABC. Yes. Back in the beginning of the 80s. But the ABC, as you're an entrepreneur, always be curious.
Always be curious. Okay. I need to write these things down.
You don't need to. You're going to have a copy of the video, so whatever.
But sometimes I like hashtags.
Yeah. Always be curious.
Obviously, always be curious in your field, or
In
and not even
general,
that, in general. Okay.
because there may be things that you see that are working in other businesses and say, hey, this is really successful. Is there any way I can implement part of it or any part of it in what I do?
So I guess it's very ideal to take notes, business plan.
Yep.
Oh, and also it is small business month, so I'm glad we're having the discussion, especially mid October. I actually can't believe it's October 15th. This is
Well,
actually
so many
absolutely,
people have said to me, where did September go? Feels
yeah,
and I said, well, go listen to Earth, Wind, and Fire, right? Do you remember? I said EWF, all right? EWNF.
Actually, yes, September went by really
Just flew
fast.
by. But the thing is, here's another thing I want to ask the business owners out there. Do you have your Q4 targets written down? And if they're written down, do you have action steps on how you're going to get that? I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
And I what was that, 2 weeks ago, I did talk about tackling down on the last quarter, because it's always the last quarter that makes or breaks you. But you can also see if Q4 wasn't as ideal or successful as you wanted it, how are you going to change it for the new year?
Well, that's another thing too. People should already be looking at their Q 2023 projections from now.
Jeez. Right?
And maybe that's where Dr. Camille Smith can assist you.
Now, now I have that name. My
well, you
God.
want me to give that to you anyway, so I'm just putting it out there.
I have to get my PhD first.
Point
A lie? I don't want to disrespect the folks that took the time and money to reach that lovely title, because that takes some hard work. So
Yep.
But I do want to ask, and this is what I ask everyone, because I think especially as an entrepreneur, I don't want folks to think that everyone that's been on here or the stories that I've shared are spoon fed, or I was. I don't care what anyone says. I do not have a silver spoon. I barely have a bronze spoon.
No, she has a platinum one, folks.
No, sir. Well, just from the knowledge that I've gained in even the last 2 years has been actually epic. But I feel like there are individuals, and I think this can even help for folks that are employees, just having a 9 to 5. Name 3 things you wish you knew about personal finance?
Oh, how important an account it is. Also, the difference between revenue and sales. And in regards to personal finance, don't be afraid to ask.
That's a great one because especially with our community, I find it that and I have to pick up, sorry, Christopher Lawrence, thank you for staying for the whole
Oh,
entire
well, Dr.
time. Big up.
Lawrence. Dr. Lawrence.
Him
All
just
right.
laughed saying that I have a when you said the platinum spoon, I don't have a platinum spoon. However,
Tungsten. Okay, right.
however, our community, yeah, audience, community,
Yep.
tribe,
Mm-hmm.
family
Mm-hmm.
have a very hard time for asking for help.
Yeah,
And
it's
I-
it's not just people who look, as a lot of people do. And to
mhm,
me, one of the signs of growth is when you ask for help, because you
true.
realize it's I'm not everything. I need
Mhm,
help.
absolutely. And it's okay. And it's something that I heard yesterday. It's okay not to be okay, or it's okay not to be strong because there's going to be days where you feel like a superhero.
Look, look, you don't have to be perfect all the time. You have to be perfect at the right time,
Mm,
right?
mm.
I
Humble
tell people,
thyself.
fail forward, fail fast.
If you drop down 8 times, make sure you get up the ninth time.
Do you pick yourself up when the rain falls and beats you down? Who do you
Oh,
who do you reach out to? That's even a better question. Do you have someone in your journey or people in your journey
hmm
who are there not only when you win, but when you don't win? Interesting. There's a gentleman from my environment. He's a father and he has a fairly big online show in the United States. And when we met, we just had conversation. Then he asked me, would you mind being on my board of directors? And I loved that idea because every 2 months he has a group of us get together and he basically shares what's going on in his life personally and professionally to get feedback from us. A board of directors. Great
wow.
idea. Yeah.
Wow. I have a question in the chat. When is Dr. Vibe coming out with his book? What?
Great, great question. And the thing is, it leads me to another thing. Whenever periodically I'll have a spreadsheet and
Yes.
one column I'll put the ideas
Yes.
that are flowing through because I'm a creative. The next column is what are the resources do I have available
hmm
for to act it? So I do this each column, this one and the two other ones I mentioned, 0 to 5. So what are my resources?
hmm
If I don't have any resources to 0, if I have a lot of resources, I have 5. So
Yes.
it's anywhere between 0 and 5. Next column, how easy is
hmm
the idea to implement?
Mm.
So in this case, yes, if I write a book, how easy is it for me to do, like get it out there, the
Yeah.
process,
I,
right?
trust me.
Right.
It's easy for you.
And then
I,
finally, the last column, again, that's 0 to 5. The last column, how passionate am I to do the idea?
mm,
Because if I'm not passionate to do something, that's going to be a struggle.
it will. And that's one advice I believe a lot of entrepreneurs should think about. Are you absolutely passionate
Mhm.
about what you do? Like I could fully say that I'm engulfed in the personal finance world at the moment and I am having a grand time. And I'm just like I should have done this earlier. And I know that when the folks that tried to talk me into it years ago hears this, they'll be like, see, I told you so. But hard head sometimes,
Yeah.
stubbornness.
No, but the thing is, so, and then just concluding, what you do
Mhm.
is total up the 3 numbers
Correct.
as a total. So ideally, you'd have a number of different ideas,
hmm
and then when you look at the totals for each one, the ones that you have higher scores with are obviously the ones that you want to get done.
Absolutely.
So that's something that I do on a regular basis. And another
Mm,
thing too, if I get an idea,
correct.
I have a thought process within 36 hours whether I'm going to go ahead with it or not.
Oh, wow. 36? You're the expert.
No,
You're the
I'm just
doctor.
suggesting. I'm just a suggestion. But the thing
Doctor.
is, we always get ideas. You
hmm
have to have a process of if you can, a
How
quick
it
was
works.
whether I'm going to run with it or not. Between that and also the idea chart, like I've shared the
Mhm.
idea chart with many people and they go, wow.
So
Clarity. You know, another
Christopher,
thing
that was a
out
good
of your
question.
top three is the importance of clarity in the entrepreneur's journey.
Mm-hmm.
Very
Mm-hmm.
important.
Golly.
What?
No, I'm you're just spitting amazing
I'm sharing, I'm
gems.
not spitting. I wanted to make sure I got a real good Dr. K
Laugh.
laugh during each conversation, and it happened. So
You're like,
I feel
yes.
good. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Da-na-na-na-na-na. Oh,
Mm.
I'm glad that you've been able to share these ideas and that uh, I'm just from the looks of it, it will be written down and all that good stuff. And since you do have some other ideas that you've listed and to check the five, what are other avenues that you're currently doing or thinking of doing?
Yeah.
If I get the permission to get
Well,
the
you
the
are
the
in charge. You
411.
you get all the inside access as there's anyway. So what all roads lead to Dr. Camille. So building a team and slowly but surely, and that's another thing as an entrepreneur, realizing that once you start making money, you should start thinking about adding on people to help you because you'll get more business. But if you're doing it by yourself, you're not going to have the time to do it all. Plus, have your own life. And
Burnout.
there's a number of different ways of getting help, even for short term, that are out there. You know, I have good relationships with a lot of colleges, so I get a lot of times I'll get interns for 3-month projects. There's another organization out there called Ripen, RIIPEN. What they do is they provide post-secondary students to help you on projects for 80 hours, and you don't pay a cent. They pay them when the 80 hours is done.
So I
Yeah.
know that was one thing that we were going to discuss, but we could definitely discuss that offline.
Yes. So I have a good working relationship with
Mhm.
someone at Ripen, and almost every week I bring a new member from my environment, business owner, to introduce them to the Ripen services, and they get taken from there. So I just do the introduction, and then after that, bang. So right now I'm using a few Ripen students, and I've developed relationships with community college like
Nice.
Sheridan, Centennial College, Ryerson University, and
Oh, you
I
still call it Ryerson?
oh yes, oh sorry, the
No, 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 no. Don't worry.
Toronto
I
Metropolitan
I went
University, my
to
correction.
Ryerson.
Okay,
I went to
Toronto
Ryerson
Metropolitan
University.
University. So I correct them there. And so, excuse me. So, and
Mhm,
again, those are relationship things. And
mhm.
so one of my thought processes was at the beginning of this year, I
Yes.
didn't want to do any audio video editing for at least
Oh,
8 months during the year. Done
oh,
deal.
golly, that's one of the things we need.
Yeah, and getting your time back, because
Mhm.
when I share and share with entrepreneurs, I ask them, do you want more money or do you want more time? More and more of them say, I want more time. And you want to be working on your business, not in your business. And another thing too, give good phone.
Mm. Give good phone.
Yeah.
Golly, I'm trying to. Can you type it in the chat?
What?
The interns, because someone
Well,
would like.
I'm gonna suggest
Oh,
that people reach out to me, and I can give you some information. And then if you want to go the next step, I can arrange a meeting with the
actually, I think
representative.
that's better. That is
Yeah, with the
actually
representative, and they can
yes.
walk you through it. So,
So
but the key
yeah.
caveat is you have to be a registered business, whether provincially or
Mhm.
federally registered. If you're not a registered business, ain't
Sorry.
happening.
So for the sole proprietorships,
Yep, yep,
partnerships,
yep,
or incorporated.
yeah. If you're registered, whether provincial or federally, you're good to
Mhm.
go. Now, I'm going to
Nice.
say it's not a guarantee that you're going to get someone, but it's better to put it out there than not putting it out at all.
That's true. That's true. And now that you said they should contact you, what is the best way to
I put
contact
it in the
Dr.
chat.
Vibe?
Well,
But you have to
but
say it
email.
out loud.
Thank you, producer, ruler, doctor, Camille, underscore dr period vibe at the drvibeshow.com. I'm Googleicious. So just put in dr period vibe. I'm Googleicious. We haven't even got into things like how important it is if you're marketing this to use YouTube. That's a whole other
What? Okay, you know what?
Yeah.
So there will be a part two.
Yes, because I have a
Absolutely.
member of my environment who has cracked the YouTube algorithm, and she's going to teach me because she grew her subscriber base from like 100 to 10,000 in a few months.
So we're gonna talk about this offline.
Why? Did I say something?
Offline, I said we're gonna
Okay,
talk
no, did
about
I
it.
say something you want to talk
No,
about?
it's amazing because golly, and that brings up another question.
Oh, here we go.
So when marketing is key,
Yeah.
so there's revenue is obviously key. Research and development
Taking
is
care of yourself is key.
taking care of yourself, but also that marketing. My gosh,
That's a
without
whole
marketing.
other conversation. Stop. Hold, stop your brakes, or we say, let go the phone.
True. That's definitely gonna be like a part two. Dr. Vibe, it's been a pleasure.
It's been
But
my pleasure because I know I won't be on till the 199th show now.
stop this.
You're gonna
No,
wait another
no,
100
no.
shows to have me on before the the 149th show.
I mean, no, I'm gonna try to go based on I was trying to be special and go based on like a number, your special number, but that we could discuss offline as well.
Notice she said a number of times we're going to discuss this offline. We're going to discuss this offline.
Because
Now,
there's just too
you
much
so
juice.
Dr. K, what you should do is if you want to do generate from revenue, say, well, on Patreon, you can get offline conversations with Dr. Vibe, myself, and you can get some more knowledge bombs.
That's 2023. That is
Okay,
definitely
all right.
something that's going to be reviewed
Yeah.
and
I'm
all
in that
that
review
good
state
stuff.
right now.
Because yeah, well so folks, there you have it. Episode 99. My God. I don't think anyone understands how ecstatic I am
Good.
because I'm going to say it's been 2 years.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Well done. Now I need to get lessons from you.
Funny how him say that, but him have 10,000 posts and everything, and you have about what 2,000 episodes under your belt?
I've hosted over 4,000 online conversations.
See, but I'm supposed to be the doctor today.
No, you're the ruler.
Me, the ruler. Jesus.
So another quick thought process. For those who are old enough, back in the 80s, there's a gentleman named Tavis Smiley.
Yes.
And he was the first Black American, I think, period, that had a daily talk show on a major television network, PBS, which is a not-for-profit. But he was one of my inspirations on starting what I'm doing now. But he just about 2 or 3 months ago, he did a 2.5-hour interview. Amazing interview. And he had a 25-year personal relationship with Prince.
Ooh.
So I'm going to share 2 things quickly. And I hope this will, some people go, as Arsenio go, things that make you go, All right. So what's the first thing? Oh, yes. Michael Jackson, for a lot of his career, his producer was Quincy Jones.
Yes.
So Michael and Quincy were looking to produce the album Bad. and they wanted, look, see her shake up, and they
With
so
my
they
head.
wanted Prince to come
Mm.
in and do some background vocals for the song.
Eh.
So the day comes up, Quincy invites Michael Jackson and Prince over. Now here's the funny thing.
Mm.
The time comes up, Michael's calling, hey Quincy, has Prince arrived yet? No. Then right after, Prince will call, Prince, is Michael there yet? No. So this is going back and forth for 15, 20 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So eventually Michael Jackson comes into the home, and within 2 minutes, Prince comes in.
Wow.
They sit down at a table. On one side, there's Quincy Jones and Michael Jackson. The other side is Prince.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, hey, thanks for coming over. We're in the process of producing this album, Bad. We have a song that we'd like you to do backing vocals on called Bad. I'm Bad.
Yes.
They give the lyrics to Prince. Prince comes back and says, hold on a second. There's a lyric in this song saying, your bud is mine. And Prince asks, who's going to be singing that line? Quincy and Michael look and say, we want you to sing it. Prince got up and left. He did not want to sing in a song to Michael Jackson that your bud is mine.
Mm-mm.
Second quick story. This is a quicker one. So Tavis Smiley is now bought and is operating one of the only 4 all-black talk radio stations west of the Mississippi in the United States.
Nice.
And the interview asked him, why did you end up doing that? And he says, well, Prince told me content is king, distribution is the emperor.
Mm.
I just dropped my mic.
Mic drop. For the folks that didn't see it.
Right?
He dropped
Content is king.
Yes.
You want me to do it again? Yes, here we go.
Mic drop.
Done. Content is king, distribution is the emperor. So own your content.
True.
Own your content. Dr. Vibe, you see the TM? Trademarked.
Hey.
The Dr. Vibe show, TM, trademarked.
Okay, so soon we have to do it here too. Just now.
Yeah, it's a process. It doesn't cost a lot of money, but the thing is, it's the time once you put your submission in to get the trademark, just the time to wait. But if you, and also it may be as you're going along the journey, you may want to talk to a IP lawyer about not getting your content stolen.
Gosh, imagine that. I mean,
I have someone who, a very good Black lady who gives 15-minute consultations complimentary about IP property.
because that is important.
Absolutely.
Especially in this lovely platform, YouTube, especially. I mean, there's many ways for others to what's the word? Duplicate.
Yeah.
What you do. And I mean, at the same time, like with personal finance, I don't find that an issue because we are all using the same information.
Well, the thing is, though, and that thing is what makes you different in a good way from the other people to do what you do. That's especially when you're dealing with a generic or evergreen product or
Correct.
service. They can go and get it somewhere else. Why should they come to you?
Because look at me, my God.
No.
I'm joking. That was a joke. That was a joke.
Yeah, well, you don't want to know what
Because-
goes on offline, what she says. Okay, all right.
Has the value and purpose in anything that I do is
I'll give you one more story, because a lot of
Yes.
stuff I lived is stories.
I love stories. Story
Well,
time.
yeah,
Sorry.
okay. So a few months ago, I met, and I may have told you, maybe not, I met an 81-year-old man
Mhm.
who runs his own company that mentors CEOs and entrepreneurs.
81?
81.
Oh,
And I've had a chance to get on a call with him, 11
Yeah.
minutes.
yes.
Would end up being 30 minutes.
Mm.
Because We spent the first 25 minutes talking, why do you do what you do? This, and we're just having great conversation back and forth.
Yes.
And then at the end, I said, hey, would you mind coming on the show? He said, no problem. I said, fantastic. And then I said, hey, another big ask. Can I get 30 minutes of your time each month to get mentorship? Sure. So
Those
don't be
three.
afraid to ask the threes, right? And then, so it's funny. He asked me, when's your birthday? And I said, yeah. I told him, he said, when I asked him when his birthday is. So when his birthday came up, I emailed him and said, happy birthday to him. He emailed me on my birthday.
And said the same.
Now, this is where the Camille School comes in so important. About 2 weeks ago, I get an email from him. Dr. Vibe, hope you're doing fine, etc. We're relaunching our CEO speaker series. We're doing our next one on October 19th, which is coming up this Thursday. No, this Wednesday. I'd like to invite you and any guests to the event at no charge.
Mic drop.
Now,
wow.
I didn't ask him to do that. I didn't even know it existed.
Wow.
He asked me.
Building relationships.
Yeah. So I would just went, wow. So I'm going to be in that room, and I'm just going to be getting nuggets and just developing relationships. And then after we do our live conversation, that's when our first mentoring session starts.
Hey, nice.
And then so I have one more ask of him for now, and I'll probably do it when after our conversation. I'm going to ask, can I spend a day with you? I just tag along with you. Just hang out.
Building.
And just seeing what the life of a CEO is all about.
My gosh. That's whew. Always ask for help. It doesn't hurt to ask.
It doesn't hurt. I have learned the more people that need help, the more people that need help.
My gosh. So now that we've had an amazing conversation in chat, what is the last thing you would like to tell folks?
2 quick things. I could share many. Actually, 3. I just thought of something in my alleged mind. So we always say gratitude is important. Many of us, right? So just give me a quick, I'm going to read something.
Okay.
About gratitude. Okay, here we go. Gratitude opens the door to more relationships. Gratitude improves physical health. Gratitude improves psychological health. Gratitude enhances empathy and reduces aggression. Grateful people sleep better. Gratitude improves our self-esteem. And then finally, gratitude increases mental strength.
Spoken words. I like
and the
that.
last thing, 2 things I'll say. Don't just manage your time, manage your energy. And remember to give yourself grace.
Always take a break.
Give yourself grace. Because you know what's interesting? And I'm blessed at times to speak to people who are at top levels. Many of them are just figuring it out as they go. Telling your family.
That
many
is
of them are
very
just
true.
figuring it out on the way. So don't think they've cracked the code, a lot of them. They're just figuring it out as the way they on the journey. You know it's you've reached the hardest part when it's the easiest to quit.
My gosh, that speaks volumes. Golly. So I guess at some points, give yourself grace and keep pushing if you can.
Yeah, like my mentor sent out through his text group today. He sent a message, and I so appreciate him. and his wife. He said, just a reminder for you, quote, dreams don't have an expiration date. Keep going.
Keep pushing, keep going. Your
They
dreams will
don't
come true.
they don't make statues for critics.
My gosh. Folks, Dr.
Sorry
Vibe.
if I took up so much of your time, family, but my heart was full. I just wanted to share. And plus, I didn't want Dr. Camille to smear me online or anything, right? So
Never. It was amazing. I knew from the second I told you the second time I seen you, because there's a story about we've met before. I just didn't realize until last week, yesterday, or the other day. But I knew when I seen you, and when you had people coming towards me, because you're the celebrity, not me.
they
I
didn't.
was like,
Most of them did not know who I am. But you know what? I gave them a safe and brave space, and I accepted
Mhm.
them where they were, not where I would like them to be, where
Mhm.
they are then and there. Accept things in the moment.
That's key to life and as a
Absolutely, and
business.
business is entrepreneurship. Yeah.
My gosh. Well, thank you.
You
Thank
are
you.
so welcome, Camille University.
And folks, next week is, even though today was amazing, I'm excited. I'm
Was yeah.
also excited for the 100. My gosh. And I remember the first episode was on November 1st.
There you go. Well,
So
family, I just started with a laptop, a microphone, and a dream. That's all I had. Did my first online show at my kitchen table.
nice.
Yep.
I mean, I'm
Laptop, a microphone, and a dream. And they say blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, solution for someone's problem, and Blackalicious.
you did say that the other day. And on that note, folks, I appreciate you coming by and sharing the suggestions, the gems, and creating a safe space,
Safe and brave space.
safe and brave space.
And also
to
follow Camille on the platform, on her platforms. Please click the follow or subscribe. And if I've said
yes,
anything of value, I would love you to join me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and you can catch me live 5 p.m. on Sundays. I do Black Canada Talking, where share and showcase Black Canadians right across Canada. Monday mornings and Friday mornings at 9 a.m. we do something called the Morning Vibe with Ryan O'Neill Knight, the executive director or co-executive director of the African Canadian Business Network. And then on Saturday nights, most Saturday nights or Sunday nights at 9 p.m. State of Things with Aisha K. Staggers, Jill Jones, the Queen of Cuss, and Laura La Key, where they give their takes most of the time on social political stories in the United States. And if you want a fire show, because Camille has watched that.
I have, Jesus, and I've absolutely put your information in the contact or the description. So folks, please do like, subscribe, and follow, and also join the platform of Dr. Vibe, because he has some valuable. You have a lot of videos, so I'm gonna have to go back and just binge like I'm watching Game of Thrones or something.
Game of Vibe.
Game of Vibes. See? And
you.
on that note, folks, we are going to head out with Andre's tune, and there will be a special guest again next week. Okay, folks? Thank you.
Anywhere.
Out of fame music.
A ville, flip, floss, money literacy boss. Flip, floss, money literacy boss. Flip, floss, money literacy boss. Flip, floss. Anyway, chop, flip and floss, money literacy.
Choo!